Well, good afternoon. Welcome to FullSizeFord. If you remember back in July, Amy picked up this really pretty 59 Lincoln Premier at a farm auction in Box Elder, Montana. And it's got the 430 cubic inch MEL in it. I don't know much about these engines other than they're close cousins to the FE. Looks like it has an intake retention system closer to a Y block. But one thing's been nagging at me, and maybe you too, is will this thing actually run? We surmised it's been sitting since about 1972. Probably, as I'm hoping, was parked because of a bad brake booster. The car did not come with those parts, but what we've got planned is a modern just vacuum booster and conventional dual circuit master cylinder planned for it, other than trying to source and fix the treadle vac, which could be rather troublesome. I've heard some horror stories about people trying to rebuild those and never getting them to work right. What's your experience? If you've had a treadle vac, does it work? Does it not? Should we try to find one and make this thing original, or would we be better off just to go with the more modern booster and master cylinder? Everything weird about this car is it's got vacuum wipers. I would have thought that a Lincoln, because I mean, even in 59, some Ford cars could have electric wipers. But this car debuted, this body style ran from 58 to 60, so maybe they just decided not to change it. Maybe it was optional. I don't know. If you know, put it down in the comments. So the first thing we're going to need, we have already put a battery in it, and we tested power. We do have lights and stuff, so first thing we need to do is hook up a battery. Let's take a look at the old engine Earls here and see what we got. Now look at that. Play to full. Looks fairly black. So it's good enough to try to start it. If we're going to run it for any length of time, we will. I'm pretty sure that fuel pump is probably going to be shot. Oh, look at that. It's been replaced. It's an AC. See, Delco got a GM part on our Lincoln. That's not going to work. Although some early Lincolns actually used GM turbo hydromatic automatics. So let's get a battery in this thing, get some power to it, and see if she'll actually crank. Well, it says it's going to be about 47 degrees today. It's not, the sun was out for a brief time. It's not bad out here though. There's no breeze. No, it's not windy, so it's tolerable, it's workable. Videos get a lot tougher for us to produce in the wintertime, as we don't have a shop and my garage is so full of junk that I can't possibly work in there. But we will do what we can to keep producing content and make it through to springtime. As you can see, Lincoln's got a long, narrow battery tray. So size-wise, looking at a 29 NF60. I believe is the correct size battery for this car. This was used in a lot of Fords back in the day. I wish I could get a little higher cold crank amps. This is the only battery that I got this where I work. They don't make this in the higher lines, in the XHD or the XT. These batteries are made by Clarios, which is used to be Johnson Controls. They make the Interstate, they make the Die Hard, they make a lot of the batteries. There's not very many battery manufacturers in the US. So I wish I had a little bit more than 420 cold crank amps. I mean, it seems like a 430 cubic inch big block would need more. This is probably 10 to 1, 9.5, 10 to 1 compression. I'm not sure. But, I don't know. It's the only one I could get that fits. maybe somebody else, maybe another supplier makes this in a higher cold crank amp, or maybe we just don't need Ohio. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. So anyway, let's get her hooked up and see what we got for cranking. Notice there's no handle on the top of this one, but I think this is designed to have this type of hold down on it, which looks like it bolts to there and then has a hook here that hooks on. We're not going to worry about securing that right now. These cables definitely look old, but maybe, just maybe, they'll do the trick. At least I don't see any fraying or anything. All right, I'm just going to bump the key and see what happens here. I do have lights inside. So the starter did actually engage. All I did was just bump it because I don't really want to crank it yet, because I'm going to need to see. First thing we're going to want to check to see is if this motor is frozen from sitting so long. Looks like it's got a clutch fan on it, so won't be able to turn it by the fan, so might have to figure out how to get down in there. I'll see if you can see up in there. There's not a lot of clearance to get up in there. I can see the crank bolt there. I got a little bit of 1-inch crack to get through there to get that, so I don't know. Oh, I see. Looks like an Atlas oil filter. The engines are set down real low in this car. When Henry Ford II was in charge of Ford, this was going to be his flagship, and he wanted to take Cadillac down. He wanted this car to be extremely low to the ground. Easy access for passengers in and out. So the car sits pretty low, the motor sits down low, and that was the reason for the unit body construction. Even though most of the engineers said this was way too big a car to do unitized body construction, apparently word from the top was make it happen. They would have eventually in the late 60s abandoned the unit body design on the Lincoln. Again, the largest unitized body car ever made. So let's see what we're gonna have to do. See if we can pull it by the belt, maybe. Well, anyway, let's get some tools. Let's see if I can get lucky enough to grab this belt and maybe not. We got this AC compressor here too. Maybe there's more room on the other side. I'm actually going to take the battery back out of here, and that should maybe gain me a little bit more access into that cubby down there. Let's see if we can get a ratchet in there. And maybe with this flexi ratchet I can get down in there. Or maybe not. Like, this car's for those people that go, yeah, I like the old cars because they were easy to work on. Obviously never worked on a 59 Lincoln. If I put it down there, maybe I can get underneath and put it on the hole. Maybe I can get lucky. Like so. Get that on there. I don't know if you can see down in there. You can see the head of my ratchet. I've actually got it on the crankshaft pulley bolt, but at that angle, we'll see if I can get enough on it to see if this engine will turn. Alright, let's see what happens. It doesn't feel good. It feels solid. Away. Oh, see, nope. That's just gonna loosen the crank bolt. Come on. Uh-oh. Gunshots! Take cover, Ma! Now it's tightening the bolt again. Engine is not moving. Okay. So that didn't go as planned. So now let's start pulling spark plugs and let's get a look, see maybe inside the cylinders of what we're dealing with here. to shoot some penetrant in there to yeah, that doesn't want to budge. So I should probably clean a little bit of that out with the vacuum before I spray some penetrant in there, and then we'll juice these suckers up and see if we can't get them out. I've mentioned before, it's funny how this car has a giant air cleaner, but the filter in it looks like it belongs on your 72 Datsun B210. Thing will come out with a screwdriver so we can access those plugs down there, because we're going to need to pull these plugs and probably put some marble mystery oil in these cylinders. Oh yeah. Here. Throttle linkage is definitely stuck. That's going to be another problem. We just keep running into snag after snag, but that's okay. So we do. I mean, we shouldn't expect things that have been sitting. So it looks like it's going to pivot on that, so it does look like it is actually the throttle shaft that's butterflies that are. So let's grab a screwdriver. I apologize, we haven't had a lot of content lately. Behind the scenes, I have been working on an engine swap on my 2000 Ford Ranger, which I did not put on the channel because I figured, well, nobody cares. It's got the, it's a clean high mileage truck, but it's got the 3-liter flex fuel. Which, if you look on the internet, everybody's like, oh, the 3-liter, the gas mileage of the 4.0 with the power of the 2.3. But my daughter's been borrowing it. She's been using it for a while and it broke down on her. Had to rescue her. But anyway, I just had to, don't have a lot of time, so I had to snag another motor off the old ePay. Used one, supposedly has 124,000 miles on it. It was out of a 2-wheel drive truck. This one's a 4-wheel drive, so oil pan was different, and oil pickup and whatnot. So anyway, behind the scenes I've been dealing with that. And like I say, I didn't put that on the channel because, well, it's a 2000 Ford Ranger with a 3-liter V6. Anyway, the rare day that we actually had to tinker on the Lincoln a little bit, so thanks for obliging and watching. Well, I thought maybe that would come out, but it looks like we probably, oh boy, we have to remove this support rod. And that looks like, yeah, it's actually threaded on the end. So it's actually threaded on this end, so it actually keeps tension on the rod. Well, if I pull that off, is it going to, is the whole front end just going to fold forward? No, of course not. But anyway, it does make it kind of a pain for maintenance, because I don't think I can get that out of there. Well, maybe I can weasel it out of here. Oh! Oh boy, there we go. Oh. Okay. Well, let's vacuum on this side now, and then we can soak these plugs down too. Real quick, I'll just show you the 3-liter out of the Ranger. And this is the old 3-liter Vulcan pushrod engine. Came in the '86 Taurus. So this engine's been around a while. Was used up into the mid 2000s on the Rangers, maybe even a little later. I talk about Rangers because even though that's not classic car stuff, and it's not full-size Ford stuff, a lot of people seem to own them. But anyway, we were hoping to get away with just doing head gaskets on it, but when we pulled the head, it appeared intact, and then my son spotted this. We had already narrowed it down to this area because we did a cylinder contribution test on it. The scan tool and its power balance test showed 5 and 6 were just going all over the map. But number 5 was where the problem was. You can see that hole in the piston there. So anyway, that necessitated grabbing a used engine for time's sake, because it's about 2 months to get an engine rebuilt around here. So anyway, back to our regularly scheduled program in process. Thank you to the neighbor's dog for the enhanced audio. I think we finally got one to break free. These plugs are in there. Of course, they've been sitting here since 1970, probably about 72. I don't know that for a fact, but the latest, like oil change stickers, everything points to be an early 70s parking. So, well, that one doesn't look bad. I don't see any signs of rust in there or anything. Yeah, she's an Autolite. BF82. I'm just going to set it back in there. This is the most annoying spark plug socket ever. This is an O'Reilly's Power Torque. I bought it when I was helping a buddy out and didn't have a spark plug socket, so just ran down to the O'Reilly's and grabbed one. Well, that one doesn't look like it's going to be fun. This little plate that they mount here on this side. That one I can still get to. Come on. Oh boy. I think we got it. Boy. A little bit of rust in there. Not too bad. Let's maybe grab a camera and take a peek inside there. Let's take a look in the cylinder here and see if we can see what's going on in there. A lot of corrosion. Oh yeah, that's not looking good.
Is that mousage?
No, that's just all corrosion. You can see, if I can point it the right way, you can see right there. You see where the white is? And see where the orange starts?
Yeah.
The white is the top of the piston, the orange is the cylinder wall. That cylinder wall is pure rust.
That's not good.
Nope. Nope, this thing's been sitting for a long time.
Sitting dry?
Well, what happens typically is your,
or I guess there would have to be water to make rust.
Yeah. What happens is you'll get a, when it's parked, one of your exhaust valves will be open, so it allows condensation to come up through your exhaust and get into the cylinder.
Oh.
Set that in there. I don't think any amount of marble mist oil is going to fix that. Let's look at this one. This one I already had out. See, that one looks pretty good. So you can see in there.
Clean.
See, that one doesn't look bad. Yeah, I don't see all the rust on the wall like I do on number 1.
Is that number 3?
Yep. Unfortunately, because the starter actually works, the starter will actually bump it around.
That's surprising.
Well, it will. The starter will try to engage, but it's not going to do anything because the engine won't move. But which means all the wiring's intact.
So what is the white stuff?
Corrosion. The pistons are aluminum, so it's just like electrolysis corrosion.
So it's kind of like rust? Or like before rust?
Yeah, except for aluminum doesn't rust, it corrodes. It's galvanic corrosion. the same kind of stuff you see on aluminum wheels at work.
Ah.
And let's see if we can pull a plug on the other side and check it. So number 5, because this is a Ford derived engine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A lot of engines go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, alternate. Ford makes it easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And everybody says that Ford is the ridiculous one. That plug does not look bad. Let's see what it looks like inside. Let's go back to video. Okay, let's take a look down inside here. That one, not as bad. I see a little bit of rust on the cylinder, but so this would be number 6 here. Oh, that one didn't come too bad. Well, I did spray them down with Deep Creep earlier, so even though sometimes I maintain that that stuff is purely psychological and doesn't do anything, it just makes you feel better about yourself, maybe it did something, because I didn't have to fight that one as hard. Alright, let's see what the bottom looks like. That one doesn't look bad.
Corrosion, but not
A little bit of
rust.
surface corrosion, but I don't see that big orange Titanic looking rustic holes on there. Let's point it that way a little bit. Some carbon and stuff, so that one would probably come around. Uh-oh. There went my camera. Let's see if we can get this one. Yeah, that one's gonna put up a little bit more of a fight. There she goes. I mean, if you just have some slight surface corrosion in there and stuff, that one doesn't look bad either. Come on! That one says no. Okay, watch out. In case it breaks free, I might knock you down. Come on. There it went. We got it. Okay. See, most of this is my Deep Creep that's on there. Not bad. On number 8. So, yeah, that one would probably come around. So I guess one could say, with what we found here, especially on cylinder 1, is that the purchase price of the car doesn't seem as good now. But I will say, even if it did run, even if we were get it to run like this, the car has 86,000 miles on it. 86,000 miles on a 1959 engine. This engine most likely was tired and needed to be rebuilt anyway. So it's not like oh darn, we were gonna have a
Perfectly running engine.
yeah, brand new running 59 Lincoln. So At any rate, we'll have to look into, well, we'll have to, probably won't be till spring, but we'll have to tear the engine down. Okay, I'm gonna grab me a little funnel and a hose here. We're gonna fill this cylinder with Marvel Mystery oil. I'm gonna go ahead and put some Marvel Mystery oil in here.
There's that.
Darn, there's a screen in there. Okay. We'll let it eat on that for a while. Like I say, I don't have high hopes. All right, well, we couldn't get it to run because we couldn't get the motor freed up, but we found out why. So I don't know. With what you guys saw from those photos, you think I did fill it full of Marvel Mystery oil. I didn't have very much, so I just put it in that one. The other cylinders looked pretty decent. Maybe slightly surface corrosion. I will put a little bit of those in the, little bit of Marvel in those cylinders too, just to let it soak over the winter, because we probably won't be back on this till spring. But do you think that thing will free up and would actually run? I know it won't run good. The engine needs to be rebuilt anyway, but you think there's a chance we could start it? So put it in the comments below. Is it a lost cause? Or should we try? I don't know. Sometimes you get to a point like this on a car and you just want to say, no. Wish I wouldn't have bought it. Bad choice. But you're always taking a chance when you buy these old cars. But let me show you something cool. Let me show you something that'll bring a little bit of that magic back. Now remember, this is a 1959 car. Turn the key. We've got power. Check this out.
About protecting the individual rights of people. When then we're going somewhere very, very wrong. Anyway, 866-A-LARS is the number to call. If you happen to be a naysayer, we're going to put you right to the head of the line at 866-439-5277. A shout out
radio
to
still works.
Santa Maria, California, who catch Great Talk Radio all day and my show Monday through Friday on KSNA.
Incredible.
That's AM 1240 and...
Well, sorry we couldn't bring you the Thunder. We couldn't start it. But don't worry. We're not going to give up on this car. We will definitely get this thing to run again, even if it means pulling this engine, and even if we have to find a different engine. Maybe that cylinder wall is too scored. We'll find out. Definitely going to put a... We really wanted to take this car to Lost in the 50s next May. That is going to be, without a shop, that is going to be probably not going to happen. Unless we could, by some miracle, get the motor running like it is. But anyway, you will see this car again. And again, the project's kind of slow down wintertime this time of year. But we'll keep digging when we can. And we'll keep doing our best to get content posted. So please like, subscribe, share, help keep these big Fords, Edsels, Mercurys, Lincolns rolling. And until next time, God bless and have a wonderful evening.